What's up and good morning, guys. Welcome back to another video. We've got something pretty different today. I actually got a call from my buddy Jesse. You guys may remember Jesse. He's been on the channel a couple of times.
Probably.
I think we showcased your 2021 Ford, right? When you got that?
The truck, I forgot where else. A meet or two. I've been to your house.
Yeah.
Clean your excavator.
He is my professional excavator detailer. He borrows it from me from time to time and brings it back spotless. So
how you should borrow equipment.
There you go. So Jesse actually called me. They're working on quite a unique project here. And not only unique to something that I haven't really seen very often, but I mean, this has drawn a lot of attention from a lot of other, I guess, people, companies, whatever,
I mean,
right?
for me as a builder, this never worked with steel in my life before, so it's a whole new game for us. And we've had manufacturers reach out to us. We've had different companies, people, fire marshals reach out to us just because this is not normal for a residential building, I guess you could say. But we think it's the future of building because of the benefits for the fires.
Yeah, so if you guys don't know, we are in Southern California. Well, if you follow my channel, if you're new to my channel, go back and watch some videos. I actually bought a ranch that 3 weeks after buying it almost burned down because, well, we're prone to wildfires out here. And so anything you can do, I guess, to mitigate that, you should, because insurance rates are also absolutely insane. So we're going to take a look at this ADU project that they're building, which everybody knows that, you know, ADU is the new buzzword. Yep. What is it? Accessory dwelling unit, additional dwelling unit, whatever you want to call it.
And a lot of people think ADUs are very small dwellings. Well, they can go as big as you want to almost.
Yeah. So typically, what, 1,200 square feet is about the range that, depending on your project and depending on your city, that you're allowed to do, which this behind us is 1,200 square feet?
This is 1,200 square feet, but it's a 3-story, 1,200 square foot unit.
There you go.
Yeah.
So we're going to go explore this thing today. We're going to show you guys what we believe is going to be the future of building. You can see we've got the main house next to us. So thankfully they had this, I guess, in some states, this will be a tiny side yard, but out here in California, they got a good sized side yard to build a big side yard to build a 1,200 square foot house on. And again, this is something that I've never seen in terms of residential construction. I mean, we've got reps from Home Depot that are out here today that we're going to talk to at some point. We're going to get into the cost of this because I think that's going to be the biggest factor when it comes to this.
That's going to be on everyone's mind at the end of this video is how much is it going to cost. And
the fact that this may or may not become mandatory at some point, but it's starting to look like this is going to be the future of building, at least in California.
Yes.
Want to go explore?
Let's go check it out. All right, so we're about to walk in this ADU. It's 1,200 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, with a nice, small, decent-sized kitchen. But we're going to come in here and show you generally the layout, the framing, and what the differences are between this and the wood structure. So let's check it out. All right, so we're coming in the main entryway right here.
Now, one of the things about an ADU is it can be basically a normal house. Like people think it's like a pool house or something small, but obviously at 1,200 square feet, that's a good sized house.
That's a good sized house, especially in California. That's almost at the normal of what houses are here. I mean, generally looking at houses between 1,400 and 2,000 square feet. So 1,200 square feet, the way we're building it, it's pretty much a house.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we looking at downstairs here? We're at the first floor.
Yeah, so downstairs we got our 2 bedrooms. You know, pretty much framing wise, layout wise, it's normal like a normal wood house. Difference is obviously we're using metal, but we're using 14 gauge and 16 gauge metal, which is super, super, super thick.
So I've worked with you know, non-load bearing walls in commercial settings, restaurants and all of that. And I've noticed our steel studs are a lot flimsier than this. This thing is stout.
Yeah, so the 16 gauge studs are depending where you go, you have to go to special warehouses for this stuff. This stuff you can buy off the shelf, but 14 gauge is a special order stud. Okay. So no one sells it off the shelves, and we're getting in crazy sizes too. So, I mean, this whole house is pretty much a custom order, everything off the shelf. Like this Dens glass right here, this isn't normal Dens glass. This is our shear wall, so we call it a shear board. Now, I'm gonna see if I can find a sample of it. Yeah. So it has this on the back of it. It's a 22 gauge of metal, and this acts as your shear wall or your structural support wall. So you do this, goes on there. The screwing's outrageous. You have to go every 2 inches on center and 6 in the field. And so, I mean, it takes like an hour to do one board, you know?
So, and basically, if you guys have done typical wood frame construction, you have shear walls, and it's basically the same screw or same nail pattern.
But you're using a nail gun.
Well, you're using a nail gun. You can blast these through. And then again, now we're back to using a thicker gauge steel stud I bet these screws don't like to bite as quick as you would hope they would, being all self-tappers.
And you're lucky too with the bits too. I mean, I was joking with these guys we had. Like, oh, you're lucky to get 1 screw per bit. You know, if you get 2 screws per bit, oh, you did a good job. And I thought they were joking, and I helped them do this, and man, I was going through bits every other screw.
And a lot of the things we're going to show you guys towards the end of the video, there are special bits for these screws, there's special everything, and then again, it's going to be factored into the cost of what it takes to build this. And we'll also get into the reason why they're building it this way, or how Jesse kind of ended up on this project versus a traditional wood stick-framed house. But I see we got 2 bedrooms, we got laundry over here, and a downstairs bathroom.
Yeah, downstairs bathroom. All the living quarters, like the kitchen, the living room, that's all upstairs. But one thing I wanted to point out is you can see right here in the ceiling. So from this box beam on, we did a 16-inch off-center spacing, which is normal, that's standard. But since, you know, this is going to be the living area, we did every 12 inches off-center. So this makes it really stout and strong because they're going to be using this as an Airbnb. So we just kind of wanted to, you know...
We know what happens at Airbnbs.
Yeah, we wanted to triple check everything, you know, because like, hey, what's the worst thing that can happen? Oh, they're going to have a big party here, you know. We just want to be ready and safe for that. So It's just one of those things that, you know, normally you wouldn't do with a wood construction house, but for some reason with the metal, even our fabricators recommended we did that. So, I mean, you go up there, it feels like a concrete floor.
Now, looking at how everything is built here, obviously, I mean, your blocking looks like an absolute pain to put in versus traditional wood blocking.
Yes.
What are you guys cutting all this stuff with? Is it a circ saw or?
So we're using anything from like a miter saw with a metal blade on it, to circular saws with metal blades, even grinders, augers, you name it, anything. It's just crazy. I mean, like, to put this blocking in, you're not just cutting a piece of wood and putting it up. You're cutting 2 pieces, flanging it on, then you put the nether piece there. So that one block took 45 minutes.
Right.
Yeah, and so then look how many you have to do.
So when I came into this project, you know, you see all these steel studs and they have pre-cut holes to run electrical and plumbing, and you know, your first thought is, well, that's easier, that's quicker. But then you look, all of the electrical running through needs some type of grommet, obviously, so you don't come in contact with the metal. Yep. And I'm assuming plumbing is the same way.
Plumbing is the same way, yeah. And you know, as easy as it sounds, it's so much harder because you're having to cut through all this metal. I mean, some of these beams, you're cutting through 6-7 pieces of 14 gauge metal, and if you want one little 3-inch hole, that little 3-inch hole is going to take you 2 hours. Yeah. And it's just like, we didn't expect this.
There's no real good metal hole saw.
There's no good metal hole saw.
Well, you're burning through a lot of hole saws.
I don't care how much money you spend on blades or bits, they're gonna die. They're gonna go through it like nothing, you know. And I'm testing that right now.
So again, being that, you know, Jesse and them are taking this project on, this is not traditional in any way, shape, or form. So not only are they learning the process when it comes to building this thing, but so are your suppliers, and on what it's going to take to supply should one of these come in, and should a set of plans come across their desk that they need to quote out for this. It's kind of a whole new thing.
Like when I was ordering this shear wall stuff, you know, I've never used this stuff before, never ordered it, and when I was asking my supplier where do I go, and we ordered it, and I actually had the dense glass supplier call me and ask me what I'm doing with this stuff, because we've never heard of a residential company buying this before. Like, what are you doing? This is crazy. You know, and then one thing led to another, and well, they're interested in this job site now, so they've been watching us, keeping in touch with us. They've been helping us with cost on this, but they're also possibly going to help us get more leads in the Palisades, because we think this is the future of building, honestly.
So again, I mean, I feel like the Palisades is a good one to bring up. Yeah. Even if you're not in California, you guys heard about that devastating fire and the, I guess, billions at this point in damage that was caused by that. And those were mostly traditional stick-framed houses, which, you know, I don't know if there's been testing on this in a fire setting, but I would imagine it would do significantly better than you know, a dried out 2x4.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, if a fire wants to burn a house down, it's going to burn a house down. That's just fire. But if from the research from the Palisades, if you look at the standing structures, it's either concrete, stucco, or metal. Right. You know, all the wood structures burn down. So it comes to two. Not only do we have the bones metal, it's your finishes. You know, you don't want wood siding. You don't want any of that. You don't want wood doors. You want all metal. Right. But yeah, this is just, it's not traditional, you know. We're, as far as I know, and from our suppliers, we're the only contractors in Southern California building a full metal ADU. Yeah.
which again is the size of a standard residential house. So this could be translated not just into ADUs, but into traditional
home building,
tract homes, whatever, custom homes, however you want to do it.
All right, so now we're gonna work our way upstairs and back to, you know, this being a full metal house. The only wood on this house is gonna be our stair risers and our subfloor. Now we opted to do that because cost. Now, if we would have understood, because they wanted the shear wall on the floor, on the whole floor. Well, that's astronomically a lot of money. And so we worked with the architect and the engineers to come to an agreement that we got a 3/4 inch thick plywood that has a 1 hour fire rating on it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're good.
Plus you'll have your floor covering, plus underneath you'll have your drywall.
Yeah.
So your fire rating is going to go up even from there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's all good. But upstairs, so we're walking into the living room / kitchen area. This is the living room, and then very, very, very small kitchen. This is it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're getting on the wiring hooked up right now for all the appliances.
And again, for this is the main plan of this ADU was to be an Airbnb, to which you don't need a giant kitchen. It's probably better to have a bigger living space.
Well, and what's cool is right above us is going to be a rooftop deck.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so if we come out here, this is going to be one big opening. It's going to be a little deck here, and then we're going to get a spiral staircase going up to the rooftop deck.
Awesome.
And now you can see this is the dense glass stuff. And so upstairs we have to get the special corrugated steel that I had to go to Ontario. We're the only ones in California that manufacture it, and pick it up. And that's going to go on the bottom, and this stuff's going to go on top. And honestly, this stuff's stout.
I mean, yeah. If you've ever played with corrugated, there's no flexing or bending going into this stuff.
Yeah, the sheet by itself you can bend it, but as soon as you got that thing screwed down, it is not going anywhere.
So in sticking with that again, full exterior being, I'm assuming we're getting stucco, right?
Stucco and hardy board.
Stucco and hardy board.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything's going to be cementitious or metal.
Stuff, metal or whatever. So I mean, you know, with all the materials we're using, with the metal, the stucco, the fiberglass stuff, you're not going to get any termite damage. You know, water damage is damn near non-existent. It's really good with earthquakes, and then fire rating is going to be 2 to 3 hours.
Right.
So that's huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It gives time for the fire department to come protect your structure, which is not a priority, believe it or not. Most people don't realize. Like, if you're the first structure getting encountered, sure, but their priority is saving lives. If they can save your house after they save the lives, sure, but you really got to do your due diligence to make sure your property is protected on your own, because there's 10,000 homes in this little area that we're standing in right now.
Yeah.
There's no way they're going to protect them all.
No.
So if you're the guy that builds it right, and with all of that in mind, then...
Well, and then bringing up the Palisades stuff too, when I was talking to the manufacturer, you know, he's like, hey, like, you guys open the jobs? I was like, of course. He's like, cool, I can give you 20 bids right now because we have 16,000 homes that need to be built.
That's insane.
Which is crazy. And so when it comes down to why he's asking me these questions, you know, no one knows how to work with this stuff, at least in the residential, you know, construction world.
Right.
What I was explaining to Ryan earlier was we had to hire commercial guys that specialize in building metal studs in buildings. And they came and work with us after their working hours. Well, for them, you know, this is new for them too. They've never built a residential home out of metal before. So we're asking them questions about what material to get, what we're doing, how you do this. Well, they're in return asking us, oh, how do you do this? We've never done this. What's your spacing on this, you know?
Right.
So for everyone, this is a learning curve.
Oh yeah, I imagine. And then, you know, coming in, like your headers, like everything here is, there's little tips and tricks to building this kind of stuff, which if you've never built it, you're kind of sitting there scratching your head on, you know, I can see you guys have to cut a lot of flanges. Is there one on this side? Yeah, I mean, to make things attach, you're not toenailing in, you're not, you know.
No, and what I tell people too, you know, you can't just go hire these people off the street. It's not just a framer, Joe Schmo. These are considered on-site engineers. You know, we're engineering these beams on site. I can't just go to Home Depot, Dixie Line. I can't go order this stuff, you know. I can't say, hey, I need a 14-inch by 18-inch, 25-foot box beam. No, we make it here on site.
And if you're looking at these box beams, I mean, above us, just the way you guys kind of have your soffit detail here, I mean, it's a cool look.
Yeah.
And all of that's made on site.
All of this is made on site.
This is awesome. I mean, up in the front of the building we saw earlier, you get, what is the width of this? 20?
So the building itself is 25 feet, but with it coming out here, we're almost at 30 feet in width.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot to make on site.
It's a lot
on a small site.
On a small site. And people are also saying, you know, why don't you bring all your material, you know, have it all there, you know, it can save cost. We don't have space. You know, I don't have a warehouse I can go just take all of these, a few hundred studs. I can't go place them somewhere and just bring them back and forth. That's logistically a lot more money.
Right.
You know? So we have to go little by little and build on site with what space we have. And so like when we built these boxes, this whole site was full. I had to get a big old telehandler and lift all the beams up here.
Yeah.
That was a fun day.
So you can see maybe behind us here, if we can get our camera to pan over, we have 2 more ADUs getting built on separate properties, both of those traditional stick framed.
Yeah, so like this ADU that's already getting stucker right now, they started about 2 months ago. We started this job at the beginning of January.
So 6 months ago?
Yeah.
7 months ago?
Yeah.
Which...
So we're hoping to be done by the end of September here.
Okay.
So we're going to start wrapping everything up by the end of next week on the outside and drywall all of that on the inside.
We'll finally get to almost move quick.
Yes. Yeah. And so really the framing part, so the foundation, the excavating, all utilities, that's normal. You know, when it comes to your framing and that's where it's a game changer and a learning curve for us. Now, when we go into our finishes, drywall, all that stuff, yeah, we're gonna have a little bit more in labor, but it's not gonna be as gnarly as this.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, then again, this is your first one. This is a lot of firsts for the suppliers.
Yep.
So I'd imagine, obviously, they're gonna get quicker.
Yeah, we're sharpening our pencil for sure on this one, you know.
Well, you're also getting a better idea of what to charge.
What to charge,
because now you're figuring out all the headaches you're gonna run into, the nuances, and then again, these things get slapped up behind you here way quicker than this was put together because it's traditional wood frame. They've been building houses like that for 200 years.
Oh man, if this was a wood structure, we would have been done by this already. You know?
So take us back inside. Let's go check out the rest of this place.
Yeah, so back in the living room, so with the upper deck too, so we got dense glass for the walls, and now we're using what's called a dense deck for the deck.
Okay.
Now normally this stuff by itself is super fragile, but the water proofing like properties on it are amazing. So that's why we got the corrugated steel and all that. So that's going up there.
So is your strength coming from the steel?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Because at first we were like, dude, that's not strong. Like, how are we gonna do this? Because we already had our first changer with that deck. I don't know if you felt when you stepped on it, it's a little flimsy.
Right.
Because those studs are every 24 inches off center. That's what they called for in the plans.
Okay.
But now we had the architect, we're gonna do every 12 instead to make it stronger.
Yeah. I didn't want to say that, but I got towards that edge.
Oh yeah, no, we all call it out. Yeah.
Okay, good.
But yeah, so our living room, you know, another bedroom over here, and we got our other bathroom right here. So this is our 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot, 3-story ADU.
And now by 3-story, we're calling the rooftop deck our 3rd story,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
And is it a full rooftop deck?
It's a full rooftop deck.
That's a huge deck.
It's a huge deck. But it's pretty impressive though. I mean, building wise, it's not the biggest building we've ever seen. It's not the craziest things we've ever built.
Right.
It's just more impressive. When you walk in here, you're like, wow, this is nutty for a residential home. This thing is like a bomb-proof shelter almost, you know?
Well, and one of the benefits that I know a lot of people like about steel studs is they're straight.
Yes.
As opposed to going to Home Depot, you get 3, stacks of 2x4s delivered. If you got a decent contractor, he's being selective about which studs are going into your house. But basically with a 2x4, you're trying to crown them all the same way so that your wall is going to bow, but you want it to bow in the right direction. Whereas, in theory, steel studs are perfectly straight. Yeah, so you're going to have a nice straight house.
Yeah, and I don't like using the word perfect because sometimes there is, but these are almost perfect walls. Because like you're saying with studs, you have to figure out what side you want, how you're going to put it. This one, you just slap it up there, your measurement's good, you're straight.
Now what are we looking at here, Jesse?
All right, so here's an example of some of the materials we're using. So we got our 14 gauge track and our 16 gauge studs. And so remember I was talking about those box beams.
Right.
So this is a box beam. This is what we do. So it's just a little snippet of it, but you can see, it pretty much sits inside of it, and then you got that. Now, these things are stout when they're all screwed together. And that's another thing too. This whole building is screwed together.
It's pretty wild.
It's not nailed.
Yeah.
It's screwed. Every single one. This is our sureboard. So this was that dense glass with the metal on the back. This counts as your structural sure wall. These things are heavy too. So like a normal 5/8 piece of drywall is probably like 50, 60 pounds.
Right.
One of these weighs like 150 pounds.
That's fun.
Yeah. So it's a lot more labor intensive.
There you go.
But then too, back to like the special stuff. So we have these special screws that you use for this sureboard that have a special bit that's exclusive to this screw. Well, you can't just go anywhere for this. Where I ordered these screws from, they couldn't get it. So I had to go to the manufacturer, which is Grabber, to buy these bits.
So if we kind of come in real tight on these bits, you can see it looks like a standard square bit, but it almost has these teeth,
and that's what the bit
that lock into those channels right there, which I'm assuming try to keep it from stripping out a little bit.
Yeah, it helps. It does help, but it just goes so fast.
Well, I noticed in the truck earlier you had a big case of just those bits. I'm assuming you're burning through a lot of them.
Oh yeah, you probably go through, with this style, not Phillips, with this style, you probably go through 5 a day.
Oh, that's fun. So I've heard you've kind of established a new partnership with your guys' company, and I feel like we should bring that in now.
All right, everyone, this is Michael Wanning. This is my partnership with Home Depot. He has helped us out tremendously on this job, and part of doing this kind of stuff as a small business, you want to make really good partnerships with companies to help you excel and do good in this kind of stuff. So I'm gonna let him explain a little bit about what our partnership has been like.
Thanks, Jesse. So yeah, again, my name is Michael. So we started off as this was more of a customer-client relationship, and then it turned into a partnership real quick. We see what these guys are doing, what Crystal Development's doing, and I mean, it's changing the entire landscape of not only San Diego, but Southern California with their builds. We feel that this is going to be the future of the industry with our fire damage, with termites, with being so close to the coast. This is the way that the future is going forward. It's easy when you have partners like Jesse and Jesse's dad. I mean, they have been amazing through this entire process. We actually had some executives from Atlanta come out and do a tour of this property. I mean, these guys are really movers and shakers in this industry. I have about 30 to 35 customers in my portfolio. We partner with local contractors, builders, property managers, in order to grow with their business and to partner with them, getting better pricing, making sure there's one point of contact for all their issues, or if there's any order anomalies.
Now, Jesse, we talked in the beginning of this video on cost. I know some of the numbers.
Yes.
It's there's a little bit of sticker shock on building this way versus traditional stick framing. And again, one of the reasons we wanted to make this video is to not only raise awareness that this could be the new, I guess, standard when it comes to building, but to hopefully prepare you guys watching this for what could come when it comes to somebody bidding a project like this. And again, you guys bid it at what you thought it would be somewhat traditional.
Yeah, so let's say we're gonna go off this house. So 1,200 square foot, 3-story. If this was a regular wood stick build, you'd probably get away with it at like $350 a square foot.
Okay.
We went slightly above that, thinking, hey, it's metal, it's going to be more, so let's do $550. We think that's good. We were wrong. We are definitely not making the money we thought we'd be making. So normal cost on this kind of job is realistically between $800 to $900 a square foot.
So, and again, this is probably insane to anybody watching this outside of California, but these are California prices, and possibly, everything kind of starts in California and works its way out.
Well, and here's another thing too. I've been talking to people in the Palisades right now, because it's such a scarce place. The stick builds square footage, they're charging between $1,000 and $1,400 a square foot for a regular stick.
Right.
And so if I can go in there at $1,000 with this, I think everyone's going to be happy.
Right. And again, it's not like they're trying to be, oh, we're the first to do it. Let's try to make as much money as we can off of it. I mean, what's a sheet of dense sheeting cost?
This Sureboard. So the sheet of dense. So a regular sheet of dense glass is like $28 a sheet. Okay. Doable.
Right.
Dense glass with the Sureboard technology, which is that 22 gauge sheet of metal glued to the back, it's $500 a sheet, and we need 80 of them.
Right.
Do the math on that,
Exactly.
And then these screws, it's a special screw. It's $300 a box. Well, you need about 7 boxes, and also that you need the special screw bits. Well,
and then we burn through those like crazy.
To get those for 100 bits is $211.
And then hole saws for your plumbing, all of the metal saw blades. I mean, you're burning through those like crazy.
So that's where the cost is, and also the labor. Look how much longer it's taken us to do this versus traditional stick build.
Right.
It's taken us 2-3 times longer.
Exactly.
Just because we're not nailing everything together. You can't go da 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 da. You gotta.
As you can hear behind us, maybe not, maybe with the microphones you can't, but the stick framing they're doing behind us, they're slapping 100 nails in a minute.
Rocking and rolling. Yeah, and so it's a huge learning curve. There is a lot of benefits to this, though. A lot of benefits compared to a wood structure, long term especially. But it all comes down to I guess how strong you want to build your house, you know?
Well, and then again, like we mentioned earlier, the fire marshals have been out here.
Yep.
The manufacturers have been out here. And if anybody knows how regulations, one of the main ways regulations get put into place is manufacturers.
Yep.
Do you remember back in the day, you could only use Hilti epoxy? Mm-hmm. How do you think that got brought about to where the California Building Code said Hilti by name? They're lobbying for it, right? So there's a good chance manufacturers could start lobbying, and they lobby enough, this becomes the minimum building code. And again, California has a horrible insurance problem. My insurance is insanely expensive.
Some places can't even get insured, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we can't, but California put a fire insurance thing in place for us, and it's minus $12,000 a year.
Yeah, and so we've been talking to insurance companies and basing off this bill, they're saying your rates are going to drop 30 to 40%. That's huge.
So factor that into the overall cost. I mean, you got to go longevity in your savings.
Yeah. So yeah, the upfront sticker price is going to be very. I mean, you can build this between $750,000 to $1 million this way. That's huge. That's such a shock to people.
Right. As an accessory dwelling unit.
Yes. But the benefits of it are huge.
You know, you guys met Jesse's Home Depot partner earlier, and if you're a contractor watching this, having a partner like that can actually help bring some of these costs down of material, right? Obviously, your first time going about it, you don't have relationships or accounts with these companies.
Oh yeah.
You're going to be paying, out the butt for some of this stuff.
Out of it, yes.
But you work with your partners, you get relationships, and then I'm assuming, you can start to bring the cost of some of this stuff down. It's still going to be insanely expensive.
It's still insanely, but it's a lot better than what it has. I mean, I'll give an example on this corrugated steel right here. Back to when I was saying it's for the deck. I had to go pick this up in Ontario. The only place in California manufactured it. For 6 pieces was $4,000. And I asked, I was like, hey, can I make a account with you? Can I get a discount? Well, you're a first time buyer, so we can't work with you right now until you buy more. And that's how it is, unfortunately, with this stuff.
With Home Depot, they're acquiring a lot of other companies to where you can order certain things like all your Dens glass, your Dens shield, now it's going to be your metal studs, all of that you're going to be able to order through Home Depot. And this is not an ad for Home Depot. We actually asked for Jesse's rep to be here today because we want to be more informative than anything.
Yeah, this video is more for bringing awareness to this is the possibility new standard of building.
But if you can get you a Home Depot rep or whatever, again, his rep is awesome. I don't want to promote anything other than that, but find a company you can work for. They have a lot of brands under one roof now to where you're going to be able to hopefully start to bring the cost down. And as it becomes more popular, I'm sure the cost will start to come down on some of this stuff. This is, commercial grade stuff being brought into the residential world, and as it becomes more of a common thing, I imagine the price, I would hope,
it should go down.
Is going to go down. Yeah. And then again, as Jesse builds more of these, they're going to get faster, but you can only do so many screws a minute as a human being, Well, Jesse, I want to thank you for having me out. This was super cool to see. Hopefully we can come back at the end of the project. I know Jesse's company does fantastic work. This is on the smaller scale of custom home builds and stuff that they do. So I'm really excited to see this thing done. But again, I'm just excited to bring awareness to this, and hopefully, I guess we're kind of at the forefront of it.
Yeah, we might just be at the beginning of industry changing.
And unfortunately, I think something's going to have to change, especially for just insurances alone in California.
I think so too. I 100% agree on that.
It's getting crazy. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching my videos. I know this was a little bit different if you're new or regular on the channel, I should say. If you're new here, stick around. We're always doing cool custom builds, whether it is construction, vehicles, or stuff that we do over at my ranch. So don't forget to give this video a like, aka a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe. And if you guys don't know and you are new here, I do own a company called Work For It Apparel. I'd be honored if you go over to workforitapparel.com, check out some of our stuff. It's all blue collar based, the construction, the trades, grew up in that. I want to promote pride in blue collar work, and we do that through our apparel line. You guys are the best. We're out.
Damn. Yeah.